All right, shalom, shalom. It's Brother Tazadak here of Israel. I'd like to start off by giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. So, today we're going to go over Deuteronomy chapter 27. Right? So, go into the Hebrew. Lord, when you're edified, giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Let's get right into it, right? This is Deuteronomy 27:1, right? And it reads, Waya Tazawa Masha Wazakwanya Yasha'ala. And he commanded Moses and the elders of Israel to the people, Atha Ha'ain, to say, La Amar, Shamar, Atha Kal Ha Matazawa, right? Meaning, keep to all which was commanded, Ashar Anakaya Matazawa, Atakam Hayawam, which I have commanded unto you this day, right? Salaki. Verse 2, Wahaya Bayawam Ashar the Ibarwa Salaki. And it will come to pass in the day which you go beyond the Jordan, Atha Hayaradan Al Ha'arataza Ashar Yahweh Alahayaka, to the land which the Lord your power has given unto thee, Nathan Laka Waha Makwamath, and you will raise unto thee Laka stones, Abanyam great, Gadalath, Washadath, Atham, Bashayad, meaning, and you will plaster them with plaster, right? Which is, you could say you will plaster them with lime, because that's what you use, right, to coat stones, right? Let's see, let's look that up. Lime to coat stones. See what we can get out of that. Right, so the lime is a coat, right? See right here, that is plaster or lime, but that word just means plaster, right? Kind of to give it a to preserve what was written on it, right? And that word is shayad or shawad, right? See if we can go into the Hebrew for that. All right. Strong's H7875, shayad, meaning lime, whitewash, plaster, right? Which you can compare with, let's see, Strong's, what is this? H7874, shayad, says meaning to boil up, to plaster, right? So let's see if we get some precepts on that. plaster, right? So that reminds me of the word zayad, meaning to seethe, right? Which is the point after boiling, right? Let's see. Let's look up something. Is seethe and simmer the same? Right. So it says, as verbs, the difference between simmer and seethe is that simmer is to cook or undergo heating slowly at or below the boiling point, while seethe is labeled is to boil, right? Right. So seethe is when water starts boiling up, right? Or the boiling point, right? But that word shayad means to boil, right? To get to that boiling point, if you can understand, right? Which is why there's a similarity, right? Now let's explore this other Strong's H7736, which is let's see what we get from this one. Shawad, Shaddad, to be strong, to be powerful. Hence, to act with violence, lay waste. The Arabic says Sa'ad, to rule. Hence, Shad, meaning Lord Master. That's not what that means. But yeah, you get the point, right? See if we can get anything else. Whitewash. Anyways, verse 3. Wa katabath alayahan atha called Dabaria ha tawara, and you will write upon them to all of the words of this law. Hazath, meaning this. So it literally reads, and you will write upon them to all the words of the law this. Ba'abarka lamayan ashar taba'a, upon your going beyond, right? Meaning the land of beyond the Jordan. So that which, when you enter to the land, al-ha'arataza, ashar Yahweh alahayaka, Nathan laka, which the Lord your power is given unto thee, right? Arataza, Zabath, Chalab wa Dabash, a land flowing with milk and honey, right? Ka Ashar Dabar Yahweh Alahaya Abathayaka, like which had spoke the Lord of powers to your fathers, unto thee, Laka. Deuteronomy 27:4. Wahaya Ba'aibar come, Atha Hayaradan, no come to pass upon your crossing over to the Jordan. You will raise up to the stones these, Tha Kwayamwa, Atha Ha Abanyum, Ha Alha, right? Which meaning you will raise up to the stones these, Ashar Anakaya Matazawa Atakam, which I have commanded to you today, or this day, Hayawam, Bahar Ayabal, in the Mount Ebal, Washadath Atham, Bashayad, and you will plaster them upon plaster or lime. Because really, that's just the same word. You will plaster it with plaster, right? Verse 5. Wabanayath, Sham Mazabach, and you will build hither an altar to the Lord Yahweh, Alahayakah, your power. Salakia. Mazabach Abanyum, meaning an altar of stones. La'ah Tanayap, you will not lift upon them. Al Yaham, iron, Barazal, right? Because that word Nayap or Nawap means to lift up, or in certain cases of scriptures you read, like Isaiah chapter 13, right? Go to the gates of the nobles and lift up a hand, as in wagging your hand, right? Which is what we do, right? In this present time, right? Go out, scriptures say, right? Go out, prophesy, right? And right, condemn the wicked, right? Deuteronomy 27:6. Abanyam, Shalamath, Thabana, meaning stones whole, you will build to the altar, right? Atham Zabach, to the Lord your power, Yahweh Alahayakah, right? Wa Ha'al Yath, Al Yahweh, Al Alath, right? And you will, meaning you will offer up upon it burnt offerings, right? To the Lord, La Yahweh Alahayakah, right? So don't get, you have to know when it says burnt offerings, because the word for burnt offering is Allah. As in, when you offer it and the smoke ascends to the heavens, that is a burnt offering, right? But you'll see it, for example, in this instance, you'll see Allah 3 times. But it's really, you will offer up upon it burnt offerings, right? Which is why the wa is in between this last word, because it's denoting burnt offerings. But if you know context, you know when it's talking about burnt offerings. Slakia. Verse 7. Wazabachta Shalamium, and you will sacrifice peace offerings, and you will eat it hither. You will eat it there. Wa Akalath Sham, and you will rejoice before the Lord your power. Wa Shamachta Lapanaya Yahweh Alahayakah. Salakia. Verse 8. Wa Katabtha Al Ha'abanyam, and you will write upon the stones. Atha call Dabaria Ha Tawarah, to all of the words of the law, this Hazath, plainly Ba'ar Hayatab, right? So let's go into that word. So it says, and you will write upon the stones to all the words of the law this, plainly, in a good fashion, right? Which is why it says Hayatab, right? Deuteronomy 27:8. Let's get that. Slakia. Deuteronomy 27:8. Ba'ar, right? Ba'ar well, a pit. In certain instances, it's known as it's rendered as a dungeon. For example, Prophet Jeremiah was held fast in a ba'ar, which is a dungeon. Or sometimes it'll just read bawar, right? Because that ah doesn't always have to be there. The wa denotes that it's talking about that it has an I in it. Bawar, right? Right, as you can see, it says kindred roots or bawar, barar. The Arabic says bayar, right? To dig, which is why that little looks like a Y is there, because you have salaki, that's pa'ar, payar, right? So it will be rendered as, in the Hebrew, we rendered as pa, r, because that is this right here, payar, right? To explain, to declare, to dig out the sense, right? Really, that's not what it means, right? Because that word ba'ar just means let's see, to dig or engrave, right? Which leads me to let's see. Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say to me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Right? Salakia, that's not what I was looking for. Habakkuk 2:2. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right? The Hebrew reads, Waya Ainanaya Yahweh, and he answered me, the Lord, and he said, Waya Amar Kathab, meaning to write the vision, Hazawan, the word is Chazah, Waba'ar, and meaning and engrave it, or right, upon tablets, al halachawath lamayan, so that he may run, yaratazah, the word yaratazah means to run, that readeth, quara'ah, upon it, bawa, right? And this really applies to today, right? Because what we're reading is that we're writing the vision, right? Because the modern day tablet is what? The smartphone, right? You had the two tablets where the law was written, right? And then you have the modern day smartphone, right? Which has a screen, and we put your finger on it, right? And your sense, in a sense, you know, you're writing on it, right? Making videos, right? That's part of what you read about in what do you call it? When the Lord said that those that fear the Lord spake often one to another, and the book of remembrance was written before them, right? Which is let's get that real quick, actually. Malachi. Book of Malachi. So the book of Malachi 3:16, and they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before them, for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name, right? That book of remembrance is the book of life, right? Which we're hoping not to be blotted out of that book and destroyed along with the 2/3, right? Which is why Job said, take me not out of the book of life. I believe that was Job. Might have been King David in the Psalms. So we're speaking one unto another by doing breakdowns, right? And doing these videos, right? Whether you're going into, prophecy, right? Prophesying, you're out on the highways and byways, or you're going into the Hebrew, going into the history, right? Secular history, whatever the case may be, right? And that's being done via the internet, right? So we're speaking one to another by expounding and building upon the word, right? And ultimately, those that are of the elect, they're written in the book of life, right? Which is why we're laboring for that reward, right? And but easily you could be blotted out of that book, right? The Lord can put a reprobate spirit on you, right? So, our job is just to teach, right? And what did it say in the book of Habakkuk? Let's see. Salakia, just bear with me. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea, right? Because what covers the sea, right, are these internet cables, right, which Esau puts in order for the World Wide Web to be established, right? The knowledge of the Lord, like it says in Psalms 9, Paul the Apostle said in the book of Romans, or Salakia, Psalms 19, right? It speaks about, let's get that real quick, actually. The firmament and the satellites, right? Salakia. Psalms chapter 19. Psalms chapter 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of the Lord, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utter his speech, night unto night sheweth knowledge, right? That is what we're doing, right? There is no speech or language where the voice is not heard. Their line is gone out throughout all the earth, their words to the end of the world, right? In them he set a tabernacle for the sun, right? In them, that is talking about the satellites, right? Which also communicate the information that is being brought out, all via the internet. Right? So there you have it, right? Let's get the book of Romans, right? Romans chapter 10, verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went unto all the earth, and their words were unto the ends of the world, right? Which is why you have GMS camps all over the world, right? and other camps as well, right? So this is the modern day tablet, right? And we're engraving this understanding, right, upon your heart, right? In order to, right, give you a better understanding, right? So we're doing that, right? So like it says here, and engrave upon tablets, so that he may run that readeth upon it, right? So we're writing the vision, right, by preparing the lessons, right? We're engraving it upon these tablets, right? So those that receive it may enter into our labors. Simple as that, right? So really, that word ba'ar just means to engrave, right? Which is why the Lord said ba'ar yatab, meaning engrave it in a good fashion, right? Um, because back then that's what you could do, right? Just right. So it doesn't mean distinct or plain. It's just translated as that, right? Wayadabar Masha Waha Kahanyam, and he spoke Moses and the priest, the Levites, Halawayim, to all Israel, Al call Yasha'ala, to say, La Amar, Hasak, uh, Hasakath, Hasakath, right? Meaning silence, right? That's what that means. Let's get that real quick. Which the root word is Hasa. See if we can get that. Deuteronomy 27. Slack, I don't know why it keeps going to that. Bear with me. Deuteronomy 27. Deuteronomy 27 and Salakia. Sakath. Salakia. Meaning to be silent, right? Compared with Shakwat, meaning to be silent, to be quiet. Sakath. Let's see. Let's see. There's nothing really good for that, right? Because there's another way to say it. Silence, which you read about that in the Book of Numbers, which is Hasa. Salakia. Hasa, right? That's what I had in mind. Make sure that's the numbers. Yeah, 13 and 30. Hasa, that's more of a serious way to say silent. That means silence, right? Which you can compare it to Hasha, You know, certain words that the sha and the sa is interchangeable, which is why most of the words in Arabic, it's just they put sa instead of sha, because it's just more easier, right? Um, there's really nothing there. So yeah, sakath, right? That is what Moses and the priest said to Israel, right? They said, um, "Be silent," right? Which let's go back to that actually. Slovakia. Yeah, I could have just went scroll down. Sakath, right? The Arabic says the same, Sakath. The Syriac says Shakath, right? So as you can see, the sa and the sha is interchangeable in certain words, right? To be silent, to observe quietly, take heed, right? Let's see what we can get, right? So yeah, it just means, you know, that's a less serious way to say be silent, right? Sakath, right? The more serious way is asa, right? Meaning silence, exclamation mark, right? But anyways, right? So the Moses and the Levitical priest, right? They said hasakath, right? Be silence, right? Washamai Yasha'Allah Hayawam, and hear Israel this day, today this, Hazah, Nahaya Yath, La'aim, La Yahweh, Alahayakah, right? You are for a people to the Lord your power, right? So it says, and he said Moses and the priests, the Levites, to all of Israel, to say, be silent and hear Israel. Today, this you are for a people to the Lord your power. Wa Shemaitha, Bakwal Yahweh al Hayakah, hear upon the voice of Lord your power, and do Wa Ashayath to his commandments, Atha Matazawath Wa to his statutes, Wa Atha Hakwaya Wa, which I have commanded thee this day, Ashar Anakaya Matazawaka Hayawam, Wayatazawa Masha Al Ha'im, or Salakia Atha Ha'im, and he commanded Moses to the people, right? In the day by Yawam, that is Ha Hawa, to say La Amar Al Ha Ya Imadwa La Barak. These they will stand to bless to the people, Atha Ha'im, upon the mount Gerizim, Al Har Garzayim, Ba Ibar come, upon your going beyond to the Jordan, Atha Hayaradan, right? Shammai 1, Simeon, Walawaya and Levite, Wayahawada and Judah, Wayashakar, Niskar, Wayawasap and Joseph, Wabanyaman, or Salakia, Banyamen, right? Wa alha ya aimadwa, and these they will stand upon to curse al haqualalha upon the mount Ebal, Bahar, Ayabal, Ra'awaban, Reuben, Gad, Wa Ashar, and Asher, Wa Zebulon, right? And Zebulon, Dan, Wa Naphtaliah, and Naphtali, right? Wa Inawa, Halawayim, and will answer them, the Levites, and will say, Wa Amarwa, to them, I'll call Ayash, to all the men of Israel, Yasha'Allah, with a voice exalted, Qual, Ram, Arar, Ha'ayash, Ashar, Ya'isha, meaning cursed be the man which he makes a graven image, Pasal, and a molten image, Wa Masakah, which is an abomination, Ta'ibath, Yahweh, Ma'isha, meaning is an abomination to the Lord, which is of the doings, Ma'isha, of the hands, Yadiyah, of the artificer, Harash, Washam, Basatar, right, and places it in secret. That word Ba means in, Satar means in secret or in hiding, right? Wa Ainawa, and will answer to them, all the people, call Ha'im, and will say, Amen. Wa Amarwa, Amen. Arar Makwala, Abayawa, Wa Amawa. Cursed be who abhors his father and his mother. Wa Amar call Ha'im, and will say all the people, Amen. Arar Masayag Gabal. Cursed be who shuts in the border, Gabal, of his neighbor, Rayawa, and will say, Wa Amar, all the people, Amen. Call Ha'im, Amen. Arar Mashaga Iwar. Cursed be he to cause the error, the blind, Iwar, in the way, Badarak, Wa Amar, call Ha'im, Amen. We'll say all the people, Amen. Now let's visit that word Mashag, which means to error, right? It doesn't mean to wander, because I think the blue letter says wander, but we'll get what wander actually is, right? Salakia. Right, so that says wander, but that's not what it's talking about. Shagah means actually, or shagag, to wander, to go astray. No, it's not what it's talking about. To err, right? To transgress, right? Transgress is pashai, right? So it's to err, right? To go astray, to err, right? Let's see, Leviticus 4:13. If the whole congregation of Israel sin through error, not ignorance, and if you have erred, cursed be he. We already read that. See, error, Job 12 and 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and those that error are his. Doesn't mean deceived and deceiver, right? Wander. Now you don't want to confuse that with like it says in Genesis, a wanderer and a vagabond thou shalt be. It's not, that word nawad doesn't mean to wander. It just means to move, be agitated, to move to and fro, right? But the actual word for to wander is see if we can get that. Thaya. To wander, to go astray. The Aramaic says, I believe that's Taya. The Arabic says Taya'a. It also says in a rare occurrence, or Tha'aya, or Thaya, which is really how it should be written. That's how the Hebrew is written. Tha'aya, right? Which they compare it to be lost, abad, in the sense of that's their way of saying abad. Ta'aya, Taya, right? Because you have right, Aramaic is this is ta, this is the ah, and there's no ha there, but a ah, right? The Arabic would be, this is ta, right? And it looks just like the Hebrew ta. This is ah, as in ah. I'm talking about this right here. And then you have the ha, right? But this little dot above it, it would actually be said taya, not taya, right? So they just made the tha into a ta, which is confusion, right? So this one is more closer because it's this one here. It's ta, ha, right? This is ta, ha, right? So yeah, right. But I'd like to think that the reason why that little dot is there sometimes would be because there's an extra ah inserted into it, right? So with it, you could really write it ta, ah, ta, ah, right? So it'd be written like that with that if that little dot is there, right? Let's see, or Hebrew, that would be ayah, taya, right? So taya means to wander, right? And you have precepts to prove that, right? You have Genesis 20 and 13, right? Abraham said, "And it came to pass when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt say unto me at every place, whether we shall come, say of me, he is my brother," right? And wandered, so you see, astray, but that's talking about wandering. Exodus 23 and 4, if thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass wandering, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again, right? And etc. and etc. Right? So it says, "Cursed be he that causes to err the blind in the way," and will say all the people, Amen. Verse 19, Arar, Mata, Mashapat, "Cursed be he who inclines judgment of the sojourner, Gar, Yathawam, the orphan, Wa Almanah, and the widow," and will say all the people, Amen. Wa Amar, Kal Ha'im, Amen. Right? So it's saying, "Cursed be he who inclines judgment of the sojourner, the orphan, the widow," and will say all the people, Amen. Verse 20, Arar Shakab, Im Ashath, "Cursed be he that lieth with the wife of his father, Abba Yahweh, Kaya, Kala, Kanap, because he has removed the wing," right? But in this sense, it's talking about the skirt or the garment of his father, Abba Yahweh, right? Wa Amar, Kal Ha'im, Amen. And we'll say all the people, Amen, right? Arar Shakab, Im Kal Bahama, meaning "Cursed be he that lieth with all manner of beast," and will say all the people, Amen. Wa Amar, Kal Ha'im, Amen. Verse 20, 22, Arar Shakab, Im Achathwa, meaning "Cursed be he that lies with his sister, the daughter of his father, Bath Abba Yahweh, Awa, or the daughter of his mother, Bath Amawa, Wa Amar," and will say, Kal Ha'im, Amen. All the people, Amen. Verse 23, Arar Shakab, Im Chatanathwa, meaning "Cursed be he that lies with his mother-in-law," right? Because that word Chatan means father-in-law. Chatanath with the tha at the end makes it feminine, right? That means mother-in-law. Wa Amar, Kal Ha'im, Amen. We'll say all the people, Amen. Meaning, so be it, right? Or right? Or let it be so. Arar Makah, Rayawa, "Cursed be he that smites his neighbor in secret or in hiding," right? Basathar, Wa Amar, Kal Ha'im, Amen. And we'll say all the people, Amen. Verse 25, Arar Laquach Shachad, "Cursed be he that takes a bribe, right? La Hakwath, to smite the soul of innocent blood, Napash Dam Nakwaya, And will say all the people, Amen. Wa Amar Kal Ha'im, Amen. Verse 26, which is the final verse. Arar, Ashar, La'a Yaquayim, cursed be he that does not raise up, meaning perform. Atha Dabarya, to the words of the law. Hathawara, this. Hazah, Hazah. And that word Thawara actually means direction, right? Which is a derivative of Iraq, right? Which means to direct. So the law is directions, but it's the law. When you say the law, it would be Ha Thawara, right? Atha La Ashawath, to do to them. Atham, Salakia. Wa Amar, Salakia. Call Ha'im, Amen. And we'll say all the people, Amen, right? So basically it says, cursed be which that he does not raise up to the words of the law this, meaning perform them, to do them, and we'll say all the people, Amen, right? So there you have it. It's Deuteronomy chapter 27, going into the Hebrew. Lord willing, you were edified. Giving honor and glory to Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai B'Ashem Kakodash, his brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwam Yasha Allah, Abad Babal, and Shalom.